Hello race fans and welcome to One Hub Racing Season 19, or round number 2 here in Bahrain for the point tier. I'm going to be your solo commentator tonight. Peter Knight and I unfortunately missed last week, and I'm sure Risky, my usual co-commentator, did an excellent job on broadcasting the race for round 1. Just a quick reminder of our sponsors: Next Level Racing and 3M Sim Racing, both NLR providing a direct stand for our drivers of the season, which is a brand new award, and not forgetting 3M Sim Racing to providing a pair of their sim racing gloves to the driver with the most combined poles and fastest laps. And then not forgetting our partners Vespertine and ERT with their Going Gets Tough award. Unfortunately, I missed last week's race, so I will run through the standings and who is our outgoing driver looking for the championship title this season. I was a little bit late to start the stream because, being solo, I have to set all the tasks up for the lobby, and it's a good piece of kit. Task tells us all the tyre wear, fuel usage, how much fuel everyone's got, ERS, purple sectors, and if anyone picks up any damage during the race, we can find out that minute detail that can't be seen visually on stream or sometimes in game. Looks like we're readying up, ready for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Should be dry. I expect it to be dry. Bahrain not really. That's a good idea. Thank you very much. Just a reminder to go spectator. I always forget. I'm so used to driving and racing. Commentating is becoming more and more into my schedule. "15 drivers from the looks of things. Maybe some are joining mid-quali, but it looks like it's going to be 15 on the grid. Just waiting for people to select their tyre choices, even though that's not a choice now. You get a set number of softs, mediums for qualifying and hard tyres for the race, no matter what. Now, previous games you could choose the strategy, maybe have an extra set of mediums to qualify on, or get a load of soft tyres, just softs for the race. But I'm sure everyone, knowing that it is a mandatory 2-stop, that the strategy doesn't really bring out the hard tyres. They are a usable tyre, as I've found out, not personally but from seeing other drivers use it. If it comes to it, a hard tyre is a possibility and they can go for at least 20 laps. We'll stay on board with the Alpine of Liam, as he seems to be the first driver to take it to the track. Medium tyres, which suggests it's going to be dry, unless you're just going to get a feeling for the track. It's quite green at the moment, no rubber laid down. We're not going to see our quickest times in the first flying laps, but as the track picks up grip, the drivers get used to the temperature and where the grip is. Avoid the curbs as much as you possibly can, especially this exit curve of turn 7. That can be a race ending spin, so you really want to avoid certain curbs. Infamous turn 12 curb, the fast right hand at the end of sector 2. Touching that curb can unsettle the front end. A lot of curbs that you turn in now, you can't really cut apexes that much. You get the apex wrong and the tyre is lifted up in the air. You lose downforce, and the front end makes you spin. No issues for Liam at the moment on his outlap, running the number 12. Now he starts his lap. Down towards this long run towards turn 1, you really want to stay left because it's a harsh right apex. Run wide and then get the cut back for turn 3 and the run onto the second DRS straight on this circuit. Very difficult set of corners that, especially with the curbs. Now through turn 6 and now this really tricky section that can catch a lot of people out. All of these curves are spinnable on, and you don't really want to be going flat. If you do run over the exit curb there, you don't want to be running full throttle. You're more likely to lose the rear, especially with no traction control. Nice and tight towards turn 10, and now the third DRS straight on this track, on the one towards the end of the second sector. Final sector is basically 2 corners, very clinical though, those two. It's all about your entry speed and exits on both of them, penultimate and final corner. A lot of drivers on track, so the track is getting quite busy. A few drivers yet to go out. Let's see what other tyres everyone else is on. A few drivers on medium, so it's Quinn and Dexter. Everyone else opting for the soft tyres. Our first time on the board is a 27.5 from Liam. Luckily for me, he didn't invalidate because I didn't have the track map up. But that is now beaten by Season 18 Prospect Tier Champion Kingan, who I rudely called Finnish on Tuesday. He's not Finnish, he is Swedish. I do apologise if you watch the stream back. If you perform well, you can accept my apology either way. But yeah, but he's been knocked off top spec already. 25.8. That's a decent lap time for first couple of runs. Quinn getting up there as well, ahead of Liam on those medium tyres, about 9/10 between them two. Giggles sliding in between the both of them to get on the second row, and then MCFC now up to second as the time start coming in. No one else to breach the 125s other than the AlphaTauri of Lawrence. Gazzaman now slots himself on provisional pole into the 25s. There's a lot of traffic on this back straight. Can be beneficial with slipstream, but if they get in the way, can be detrimental to the lap and could warrant a steward's inquiry. Jacko, meanwhile, is 2.5 tenths up after the second sector. Will improve him up a couple of positions, but on soft tyres you'd be expecting him to be a lot higher up the field, looking towards those low 26s. Towards the line, it's a low 27. It does move him up to 7th, but he has put a couple of laps into that set of tyres. Dexter coming to the end of his lap in the final sector. And the final corner. Target really is a 26.6. That's the fastest medium runner at the moment, but he is going to bail out into the box and not going to set a lap, as MCFC went for round 2 on those tyres, had enough EOS. Tyres are nice and warm, went again and takes provisional pole position away from Gazman, with Rageman into the 25s as well. Let's see what Aaron in the Mercedes can do. He's in the first sector. He is on medium tyres. DRS wide open. We're going to see what his first sector time is just before coming to the very tricky left. Car gets out of the way. 28.0. That's quite thinking that a 25.2 you'd be looking at a 27.4 in the first sector, so that's 6/10 difference. So with the soft tyres as well could probably add half a tenth. So we're probably looking at a 26, low 26 maybe, if he can keep it together. That's just based on the first sector, comparing it to how a soft runner time could work. Purple middle sector, we'll double check that on TAS to see who's got what purple sectors, whether they're all for MCFC. It's quite close to the top three, so I assume that not all of one driver's got all purple sectors, with it being so close. Aaron up to the line, kept it green. It's 26.9. I did say in the 26s. Maybe lost a bit of time as everyone else starts to come out on softs. Well, it looks like soft tyres would be their recommendation. So we're going to answer the pre-race interviews while we've got 10 minutes to go. We've got our McLaren driver of Mason Jr. yet to set a lap. He luckily for me answered the questions. Hopefully I can re-find his name. Here we are. How has it gone through any practice you've been doing? Are you confident? He's confident and he's feeling good around here. So expect to see him push for points, top 10, maybe even top 5. First sector is going to be crucial. You can compare it to Aaron, 27.6. That's 4 tenths already quicker than Aaron. So that slots himself already into the top 6. If he can keep this lap together, matching that 4 tenth pace each sector compared to what Aaron set on the mediums. So does knowing it pretty much a dry race here make it easy to prepare? Definitely. Yeah, I would agree. That means you can only have to practice dry. You don't really have to test any wet weather conditions because the likelihood of it raining is very slim. Are you confident of bettering last week's result? It was fortunate with the amount of DNFs last week, but I'm hoping for another points finish. There's a high chance of multiple safety cars. We were prepared for these. He hopes so. And what would you say is your strength around the circuit? Consistency. I'm quite consistent around here, and that is crucial. It's all well and good being the fastest man on track as he comes across the line to set a 26.0. I did say 6th place, and he does slot himself in 6th place, but very close to beating Liam's time of a 28.0 as well. Just flicking about, see where people are on tyres and whether everyone set a soft run. It's just Speed Quinn and Aaron yet set a soft run. Speed Quinn is on a lap, invalidated, so he may go again on the same set of tyres. He does have enough time to go again, so it looks like he has slowed down quite a bit. 2 seconds down in the first sector, so he could have been invalid from turn 3. Very difficult corner, especially on the exit. So in terms of results from last week, it was Gazaman. He won driver there as well, I believe. He won last week's Grand Prix with Aaron, who so far yet set a time on the softs. Quinn's going to start again. We'll stay on board for the whole lap in the Williams. Not the greatest camera angle, but he needs to stay wide, turn right to leave a clean entry to the next couple of corners. So yeah, it was Gazaman from Aaron. O'Sully, who unfortunately isn't in the lobby, was 3rd in the Ferrari. Colin in the other Mercedes, who is currently the only driver yet to set a lap time, was 4th. Mason Jr. was 5th, so hopefully for him he can come back and get another top 5. Hooky in the other McLaren 6th. That's good for the constructors, but I believe Mercedes will probably be winning. The second Ferrari Speedway was 7th. Trunders was 8th. Giggle was 9th, and the rest of the field did not finish the race, so no more points were given from 10th below. Colin got the fastest lap, and the pole position was of course Gazzaman's as well. So he's probably looking for back to back to back of everything. Get the triple crown, back to back. Oh dear, I do have I do have vodka downstairs, but I'm not going to go anywhere near it as Speed Quinn aborts completely to come into the pits for fresh tyres. I see an AlphaTauri of Lawrence who has improved. It looks like he's coming to the pits. He does done a 25.2. That's incredibly quick. That's quite a quick time. That could probably see you in a decent position in a podium too, I think. With Gazzaman slotting in second on another cool down. See if we can catch someone on a lap. Or is everyone finishing? Jacko's improved, but I believe he's going again. He looks like he's not harvesting ERS, so unless he's just put it on a glitch. No, he is harvesting. Giggle looks like he's going for another. Very tentative on the Toto, as you can see. You don't really want him spinning. If this is an improvement, we'll find out if he's on a fast one. He is currently just in the top 10 by 3/4 of a tenth, and we'll be looking to improve on that if he does go again. His first sector is down by a tenth, so he was pushing to try and improve, but I think if I was him, maybe do the cooldown lap, unless you think you can find more time, but you're going to have worn tyres starting inside top 10. Saying that, he's now 11th, as I believe that was Aaron getting himself up to second place on the front row for the Mercedes driver. Hello Andreas, see you in P8 for Alfa Romeo. So in terms of the driver standards, it could just fluctuate completely race by race. It's only when you get around round 4, round 5 when you can really see where the clinical drivers are that secure those top finishes consistently, and those will be the drivers who will be the ones to watch for the title. But I think constructors wise, it's anyone's game. Could be really close, with the fact that last week both Red Bulls, both Mercedes, both Ferraris and both McLarens all finished the race, so they all got points. Red Bull getting first and 8th. I think Mercedes should be leading on 29 points, with second and 4th, depending on how many points, if any bonus points are given for pole position driver there. I don't think so. But yeah, Mercedes from Red Bull, Ferrari on 20 and McLaren on 18. So that's your real battle, and then you've got Haas on 4. So there's a fairly chunky gap between the top 4 constructors. But let's see who's going to snatch pole position as we ride on board with Dexter. There is an Alpine, that is Quinn, who is already starting a lap. So we'll stay on board with him, because we can guarantee there are a couple of McLarens up ahead. Mason and Hookie, I believe they might both be on laps. We'll see what Hookie's time is for the first sector. He's down a tenth and a half in the first sector. Mason is up a tenth and a half, so we'll stay on board with the McLaren driver of Mason Jr. Still Colin yet to set the lap time. He might have a qualifying ban, which might be the reason for him not participating in qualifying. This is going to be crucial now. Where's Mason come to the end of the second sector? Is he up? Is he down? He's up. 3.5. That can get him into the top 5. As MCFC is retired from the session, he was in the pits, so he will be taking no further part in qualifying. How far can Mason Jr. get up the field? He was up in the first 2 sectors and he's still finding time. He's got his teammate ahead of him, give him a little bit of a slipstream. But is it enough to get into the top 4? No, just top 5. Very close, as there was an improvement there from Quinn, who almost snatches pole position up to second, knocks Mason down to 6th. Dexter's coming to finish his lap. He's got his ERT teammate of Jacko about to start one. Maybe there could be some inter-team slipstream as Dexter bails out and is into the pits. 9th is going to be as high as he's going to start. Lawrence is on an out lap. We've got Liam, who's going again, I would assume. Or is he coming to the pits? He's coming into the pits. That's the end of his qualifying. We've got Giggle, who improved, but it looks like no, he's going again. This is his final run. He's got Giggle, and we've got the other Haas driver of Rageman up in 5th, starting their laps. Line stern. We've got a couple of Mercedes coming across the line. Colin looks like he's going to start a lap, as well as Aaron is going to be on his final flight. They're going to be really close. The other Mercedes decides to get out of the way, and maybe only came out to give slipstream. Could be the case. He's not going to have the quickest run. It is Colin, but that could be crucial whether Aaron gets pole position. We'll see what his delta's like in the first sector. We've got to keep an eye on the two Hasses as well. One's 12th, one's 5th. I'm sure Rageman could find a 10th to slot himself up towards the second row, maybe even 3rd at best. Rageman on the DRS straight, loads of ERS. Giggle will be one of the first to cross the line, as Jacko finished his lap in P7. Can Giggle get himself inside the top 10? He's got to push 2.5 tenths to do so. One more corner to go. As across the line, it is into the top 10. What can his teammate do? He's part of the rivalry this week with Speed Quinn. After an instant field race, just 4 points separates both teams in the constructors. His teammate is a champion. Quinn's teammate, which is Kingan, is a champion. Will he be an important addition to the constructors? And Rageman was your teammate, is not a former champion. This will matter come to the end of the season. While will your team have more success season than Williams? So it's Haas versus Williams essentially. And at the moment it looks like Williams are on top. It's Quinn in 2nd with Giggle in 10th. Rageman's 5th. And Lawrence is on pole position with that lap time of a 25.2. Keeping him on form for a good race. Everyone decided to go onto softs at the end. Colin aborted his lap to try and help his teammate. His teammate did get closer. He is 3rd with a 25.3. So close. As Andreas is in 12th. Such a good lap, and then I got low fuel mode. I ran out of fuel. Unfortunate man, but hopefully the only way is up really. When you start outside the top 10 you can go towards those high points paying positions. So there is qualifying for you. Lawrence in the AlphaTauri takes pole position, and it's Quinn, who I remember seeing in the pre-season race getting pole position, so his qualifying form's carrying forward. He starts on the front row with Lawrence. It's Aaron in 3rd, with Gazaman, our last week's race winner, in 4th. Rageman's 5th, Mason Jr. 6th. Got Jacko, MCFC, Liam, Giggle are your top 10. Dexter, Andreas, Kingan, Pit Prospects last season champion, Hooky and Colin starting from the back. All on those 5 will be on fresh tyres. It'd be interesting what strategy they do go for, seeing as if there's safety cars, it really helps with strategy and pitting to make that 2-stop work. So in terms of the stewards briefing, this is all the drivers have got to read this before the race. Welcome to the second round of One Hub Racing. Arrive at Bahrain. Opening round is already behind us. The season is still young. I agree. Still, you can't really pick out those key drivers that's going to start dominating and pushing for that title. I can see Gazaman with that one win can be a threat. He's 4th starting today. There are some drivers who will try to get revenge for a bad opening race. The stewards want to wish drivers good luck in the second round of the season. And I want to wish them good luck and keep us entertained here at One Hub. Keep it clean, but give us some excellent racing, and we should be good to go. As the drivers choose their strategies, choose fuel. Realistically, you want to underfuel the car. If you're going to expect a safety car, you barely burn about half a lap of fuel across an entire 50% race at any track, really, because there's no fuel mixture changes. Dexter is jumping on the grid as we get the formation lap underway. You can see your strategy right there for the 2 stop runners: soft, medium, medium, and soft, medium, hard. There is a possibility to do a soft, medium, soft. Say if the safety car came out in the middle of your medium stint, maybe you could pit on for more mediums. But if it's at the start of your medium stint, you could stretch that medium stint out and go for softs at the end, because everyone else will probably not pit. Hard tyres, everyone's going to be behind you on hard tyres. You're going to have a clear road on mediums that can push for 10 laps, if that's how many are until the pit window. Could be good. Let's have a look at tyre selection then. For the drivers that started outside the top 10. Only one choosing hards, that's Andreas choosing hards. Interesting for a 2-stop. Dexter, Hookie and Colin are on mediums, and it's Kingan going very aggressive with the soft tyres. Everyone inside the top 10 will start on the tyres they qualified on, no matter how worn they are. So, before we get this Grand Prix underway, the drivers' press conference asked Mason Jr. from Points, fantastic start to the season, how will you continue your early season form? And his response was quite clinical: I need to reduce the amount of tactical errors and continue to practice as much as I can, hoping for consistent points finishes. And so far, you're 1 out of 1, 100% in the points for this season, and hopefully you can carry that forward from starting from P6 today. So as I said, soft, medium, medium, or soft, medium, soft is more plausible strategy. C4, C3 and C2 are the tyre compounds. We expect the soft tyres of C4 to last about 10 laps. I think with these being worn, you'd see people boxing around lap 5, lap 6, and if anyone wants to stretch it, they'd probably be going towards lap 9 on the worn. Fresh tyres for Keegan, so he could probably stretch even longer, and that would be more beneficial for the 2-stop being on soft, medium, soft. Pit stop's about 24.5 seconds. If you get it nice and clean, no penalties to be served and no front wings to be changed. So we're waiting for the 5 red lights. Can we have them? We are about to get underway. Lights out and away we go, and it's a good start from Lawrence, and Quinn is a little bit under pressure from Aaron on the run down towards 1, but Quinn gets the better drive at the end of the start, and he's going to have the inside into turn 1. Contact looks like was almost made between the two, but Quinn's going to go around the outside, almost cuts off the front wing of Lawrence as he drops down the order, and it's nearly 3 wide down towards turn 1. It's Quinn, Aaron up the inside, and there's contact between the two as the Mercedes now leads from Williams. It's Gazaman now hunting to try and get back-to-back victories here in points. Lawrence, however, is going to have to rethink how he did that start, and hopefully he doesn't have any significant damage that could hinder him, which is probably the reason why he lost the positions. Had to probably avoid that slide from Quinn, as Gazaman goes side by side with Quinn towards the hairpin. That is not an overtaking corner. Looks like they did it nice and cleanly. No DRS down this straight for the first lap. Gazaman's going to have the inside. Quinn's going to have to try and hold it all the way around the outside, but he will have the inside for the next corner. He does back out. Gazaman gets the position, and he's up to second place. However, this battling has caused Aaron to pull away. The gap is already 1.5 seconds, as Lawrence now is looking to overtake Quinn, as he seems to have had a sloppy end of the second sector. Lawrence is going to have the inside. Quinn will try and late break it around the outside. Is there going to be any more contact? Looks fairly clean between the two of them, both getting an equal exit, and it's just going to be who's going to get the slipstream of Gazaman ahead. Lawrence has got the position on sheer nose cone in front, but how late will the Williams driver go around the outside? Wait, the Williams driver is back there. What has happened to Quinn? What? Why is there a Williams driver there, but there's a... Oh, I'm so confused. The Williams driver is physically... Well, is ghosted there on my screen. And now everything is glitching. There are a few drivers in the pits. That's Giggle, Dexter, Hooky, and Colin. All making that early stop. Not sure what's happened. Quinn seems to be in 8th and not in 8th. He's not in 8th because everyone else is glitching in the lobby. I'm not too sure what's going on, but it is Aaron leading. And Gazaman, who's starting to claw that gap down a little bit. Lawrence is staying within that 1 second window, which will be activated next lap. I know it's lap 2. Yeah, I knew that. That's why I said next lap it'll be activated, not this lap. Is Quinn still there in 4th? He is. They were battling. Quinn is in 4th. It just really confused me when he dropped down the order. And as soon as everyone... yeah, roger that. Roger that, Mark. It should be fine. I'm not a rookie. Aaron sets fastest lap as the end lap 2. 29.5 is a reasonable pace for heavy fuel. But as the fuel burns off, you'll be getting towards that 28. 28's on your next stint, then hopefully 27's on your final stint. A little bit out of shape there is Gazaman, and this is where DRS is going to be critical for Lawrence. He's going to have the inside his yellow flags. Andreas is out of the Grand Prix. Is there going to be a safety car? Looks like it's not going to be at the moment. That is at turn 11, I think that is. The exit at turn 11. Andreas has lost it. He is out of the Grand Prix. Lawrence is ahead. He had the inside on the run up to turn 4. This Delta needs to fix itself, so I know what the battles are, but everyone seems to be very close. This Delta will fix itself, sort itself out hopefully in a bit, but as we can see, the drivers are fairly close. I'm pretty sure if Aaron was to pit, he'd come out 10th. Obviously these bottom 4 probably picked up some damage and decided to go for an early pit stop. Dexter being the leader, as that's a McLaren of Mason. As we had another spinner, Kingan nearly follows suit of the McLaren. Virtual safety car deployed. Can Kingan keep it out of the wall? Well controlled there from the Williams driver to not only keep it out of the wall, both ends, but no damage at all, as drivers are now pitting under the virtual safety car to get that shorter pit stop. Quinn decides to stay out. Excuse me. So it's Lawrence, Rageman, MCSC, Aaron, Jacko, Gazaman. Kingan should come in as well. Who's going to get held? I don't think anyone gets held. Kingan comes in, maybe knowing Quinn didn't. Quinn stays out for another one, but he can box anyway because the safety car is not full it's not a full course caution safety car. So whenever it goes green flags running, he will have had. They would have all had a quicker pit stop in terms of Quinn being on a delta. But if there's another one or a full caution, Quinn can then catch up. Same with Liam. Both drivers opting to stay out. So Aaron is your net race leader from Lawrence, Gazaman, Rageman, MCFC, Jacko and Kingan. We've got to watch out for anyone getting drive-through penalties. Yeah, Mason definitely touched the curb. That's really a tricky corner. I mentioned it at the start during qualifying that you don't really want to be touching that inside curb. The wider apex you can take to get as close as possible is the best line. You can keep the speed, and there's no risk of hitting that inside curb. We're green flag running once again, and Quinn has a 17-second gap to race leader. Maybe those tyres are still fresh enough to keep pumping in faster laps than the mediums, but by the time the medium tyres start to kick in, they should be quicker, especially with the fuel load burning every second. As we get another retiree, that's Kingan, and he's done it at turn 11 as well. He's done it at exactly the same corner as Andreas. Do we get a full caution for this one? I'm not too sure. What I believe that is happening is, on worn tyres, I know this personally, that you should not be going full throttle round turn 11. You should not be doing that, because it's very, especially with turning, going in the car, it's very difficult to keep traction, and the car will get very oversteery, and then you'll get the snap, and with the amount of speed you're getting, you're in 6th gear at that point, you're going to get sent to a wall without there being gravel traps to slow you down. Yellow flag again. That's another driver off. That's MCFC. Everyone's struggling here, and that is on that exit curb. I mentioned it in the second sector, the one that Dexter's going through now. That's where MCFC's lost it. And the closest battle at the moment is the battle for net P2, essentially. It's Lawrence, Gazaman and Rageman in that train. Jacko's not too far off, but might need to pick up the pace if he wants to get within the chance of a podium. Top 5 looks on the cards, depending on where Quinn comes out, but he's always going to be on fresher tyres till the end of the Grand Prix. Oh, I've come on board with Dexter at the wrong moment. Does he keep it out of the wall? The rear hit the wall. Whether he gets any floor damage from that or bodywork damage, that is a thing now in F1 2021. There is a possibility to get floor damage and side pod damage from hitting walls and other cars. He went rear in, lucky not to lose the rear tyre. I'm not sure he's got any front wing damage, because I believe the front end stay. Yeah, and look at that, he's not boxing. Lucky boy, Dexter, very lucky boy. He lost the position to Colin, but he's still inside the top 10, and everyone here that finishes will score points. So Giggle, keep going, you're going to get a point. And all it takes is for these more mistakes for the drivers up ahead to keep happening, and you're in the money. Yeah, it could have been so much worse. So what's Quinn thinking now? He's on lap 6. He's coming down the pit straight. Is he going to box? He does indeed box now. Everyone's going to have the undercut, and because of the shorter pit stop, I said it's 24 seconds. They're barely 12. Liam stays out. He is going for the 2-stop of soft, medium, soft, without a doubt. There's no real reason to stay out if you're not going to think about doing that. Maybe he's holding out for a safety car. He's seeing these yellow flags pop up on track, and maybe seeing a safety car being brought out could help Liam, because Quinn now is going to slot behind Jacko and MCFC, who had a spin. So that it's going to be all about pumping those fast laps. And is he going to get ahead of MCFC? He will do, but those tyres are not going to be warmed up. And Ozzy's is. MCFC's is going to have nice warm tyres. Battle for 3rd place. Rageman's going to have the inside. Gazaman sensibly backs out. It's a dangerous corner that to go side by side between two drivers. But Gazaman's going to go around the outside of turn 8. He's going to have the inside for 9 and 10. What will Rageman do? He's going to hold back. Lawrence wants to get in this action. There's the DRS line to show if you're within 1 second. And this is where Rageman's going to have a little bit of a look at Gazaman as a run down towards the end of the final DRS straight on this track. Aaron's pretty much checked out. 5 seconds is getting towards the gap. Anyway, Aaron's really going to ruin his chances of winnings if there's a late safety car, if he speeds in the pit lane. Liam now pits, going for the overcut. Quinn will keep the undercut and probably keep ahead of Liam. We're expecting Liam to come out around where Quinn is. Might come out behind MCFC. We'll keep how close that is. Here comes Rageman, but we're going to keep our eye on Lawrence. He's folded back a little bit. Rageman's going to have the inside. Gazaman's going to have the outside. Rageman's on late on the brakes, and it's going to be through. Will he have got DRS for this next part? That's going to be clinical. Gazaman looks to have got it, but I don't think it's going to be close enough to be challenging into turn 4. Rageman now up into second and hoping to recover some points for Haas. Even though they've been battling, yes, there's been some slipstream, there's some in DRS, they have gained some time on Aaron. Has he made a mistake, or is he just now starting to control the race, control that gap? If he keeps it around 4 seconds, he's sweet. They're not likely to get held up in the pits with he has Mercedes. Maybe you might want to push that gap a little bit more, because if Rageman or Gazman follow him in, they could hold him up as it's like a 2.6 second stop in the pits. You've got to slowly get in and slowly come out, so that adds up to about 5 seconds in total. So that could be an issue if they all pit, and that will definitely hurt Aaron in keeping that gap after the final stop. I'm not too sure what happened to Lawrence. He lost quite a bit of time. Maybe lost it on the curb, caught a slide. But he's going to try and reel these guys back in. Rageman is showing the pace. There's a 29 dead. Almost in those 28s, but he has been battling, so he hasn't been able to put in a pumping lap. Liam on softs. Interesting. Liam did come out ahead of Quinn, so maybe the overcut worked, or just a slow stop for Quinn. But Quinn has got the warmer tyres. Maybe if Quinn was sensible, he'd use Liam as a slipstream tow, harvest some EOS, use him as a slipstream tow, and drag him towards the drivers ahead. That could be very crucial to him getting a podium, as everyone else ahead has made one stop. As Liam picks up a penalty, first driver of the day, and showing that even though you're on the fastest tyres, you are struggling to keep it within track limits. And that's 3 times. That will be 3 times, 3 warnings on track limits, and strict corner cutting gives you a 3-second time penalty. And the chances are of you getting any of them removed is very low. Quinn has very little EOS. I can see that without even checking the telemetry, because I could see the red flash. That means, that indicates that it's less than 10%, and he really just needs to harvest it now, because excuse me, because Liam is now in the DRS of Jacko up ahead. Quinn needs to realise that Liam is always going to be boxing a lot earlier. But what can Liam do on the back of Jacko? Fastest lap, 28.9. He's going to have the inside down towards turn 1. Will Jacko fight it? It doesn't really matter if he does. Liam cuts back across, gets the braking zone perfect, and is up to P5. That penalty might hurt him at the end if there's a late safety car. Yellow flag for Hooky. Is there a safety car for the driver who's lost it? Another driver who's lost it at turn 12. Both McLarens, after a double points finish last week, are now both out of the Grand Prix. That leaves us with 11, as the yellow flags are cleared and it's green flag running once again. That has helped Liam, because overtaking might have been an issue for Quinn. We know what this game's like. Even if there's a yellow flag in a different part of the track, you can still get penalised. But Quinn now needs to get ahead of Jacko as quickly as possible to stay in grasp of catching the top 4, because Liam's going to be pumping those fast lap times in and going to go catching these guys rapidly on these fresh softs. The softs will probably start to die out and come on pace with the mediums by about lap 5, and then those mediums are going to be in control, and that's what Liam's going to be jumping on at the end of that second soft stint. As we're 10 laps in, Aaron crosses the line to start the 11th lap. Jacko defends, but then moves back onto the racing line at the exit of the final corner. This is Quinn's chance. Liam purple again, only just though. This is Quinn's opportunity to get ahead of Jacko for 6th place. Quinn under brakes down in towards turn 1. Jacko leaves him all the space in the world. Respect there from Jacko. Will he leave him the space on the outside? Quinn's going to have to get on the power. He's going to get that DRS, so he might get the move, but Jacko looks like he's got the much better straight line speed, even though Quinn's got DRS. Quinn has the inside towards turn 4. Jacko yields sensibly, and Quinn now into 6th. Jacko on those little bit older tyres down to 7th. I'm not sure Quinn's going to be able to keep up with Liam on those soft tyres, but he probably will be able to pull away from Jacko. Jacko's got some consistency based on the location of where Quinn overtook him. Jacko could stay within DRS for quite a while, and that, although the dirty air can be clinical through turn 11 and 12, this next couple of corners where you can lose a lot of time, but it is actually quite easy to follow if you've got that downforce on your car. Like, you need to put really high downforce now with these cars to make sure the dirty air isn't as much of an impact. And Jacko is keeping within that 1 second. He's probably now going to use Quinn's pace to drag him up the field towards the front runners. Field's a little bit spread out, a little bit more than I would have liked, but we've got to keep an eye on Liam, as he's the driver to watch, who seems to be the driver who has the pace as we're heading towards the halfway stage. But no one else seems, I believe, will be pitting soon. You'll be looking at Colin and Dexter to be the first of their final stoppers, maybe around lap 16, 17. They did get on those on lap 1 or lap 3. So they'll be looking to do about lap 17 to go on to more mediums to run to the end. Unfortunately not for Dexter though, as he did start on mediums and will have to run the hards or the softs to the end of the race. Unless he made another pit stop for those old mediums, he'll still have to stop again anyway. Based on pit stops, one stop. Those mediums are the tyres that he spun on as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how far Dexter can take those and can he gain any more positions. Realistically, he needs a safety car. The gap between 9th and the rest of the field is substantial. There's a yellow flag. That's a Haas. That is Giggle. Is in the barrier. He's still got all 4 wheels but no front wing. There's a lot of debris on the track. But at turn 8, it's going to be a slow drive back to the pits for Giggle. And that's not what he wanted to see after getting points last. He's going to get points, but he got points last week and was hoping to get a bit more towards it. Maybe match that finish or improve on it. In terms of positions gained, only Lawrence and Quinn are the biggest losers realistically, as they started on the front row. Lawrence down 3, Quinn down 4. Biggest winners, Colin from the back up to 9th, and also Liam from 9th up to 5th. And obviously all of the top 3 have all made positions, seeing as Lawrence and Quinn have lost so many positions. So everyone pretty much ahead of them has gained from their loss. Jacko and Anosia MCFC, where they started, as he finally makes it back to the pick, does Giddle. 3-second time penalty for Liam. That's another one. That's 2. That's 6 seconds of penalties for Liam. And that is going to be crucial as long as there's no safety car. Because at the moment, he will drop down to about 8th place. Give or take a couple of tenths. But with Jacko's pace at the end, Inoz's pace at the end, they're all going to be on fresher tyres. Quinn's pace at the end, they'll probably stay within that window as long as they don't get track limits themselves. Lawrence now picks up a penalty, running through turn 1, 2 and 3. It's very easy to get either of those corners wrong, so you can either turn in too early for turn 2, or you can try and get on the power early on the exit of turn 2 and run wide. It can be marginal on that exit curb whether you stay within track limits, but I know for sure that Lawrence is low on fuel and is probably going to hope for a safety car, because if there isn't a safety car, he's going to have to do some fuel saving, and fuel saving is very difficult with the fact that you cannot change the engine mode. It stays in standard. There's no rich mix, there's no lean mix. The only way to save fuel, you might even think short shifting could save fuel. It's not that beneficial. It's all about coasting into corners and then braking. Do a little lift, coast, lifting and coasting, Instead of breaking towards the corners. And if you've got a decent gap, it's got a decent gap ahead and behind. Although Liam is now starting to cut that gap down, knowing that Lawrence has a 3 second. And Liam now pits, is good at aiming for the undercut. Does he spin into the pits? He does not. He doesn't want any more penalties. Lawrence is in the pits, sorry, not Liam. Lawrence is in the pits for the undercut on everyone else. Final stop for him. Hard tyres is an interesting choice, but they do work. Colin's on hards as well, and Giggle is on fresh soft, so he needs to stop again. Giggle won't be going to the end unless the safety car comes out. Say 2 safety car comes out now and in 4 laps. Dexter's in as well. Hard tyres for him, so everyone seems to be going for the soft, medium, hard, or Dexter's had to go medium, medium, hard due to having to make that early pit stop at the start of the race. He's going to lose position to Colin. Giggle is getting lapped, he's in the middle sector. Who's catching up to Giggle, really? It's going to be Jacko. Quinn got ahead of him. That's crucial. Liam's now got a lot of free air ahead to maybe stretch this set of softs. Realistically, 17 would be your best bet. You had a flag. That's an Aston Martin. That's Dexter on those fresh hards, having a little bit of a spin on the exit of turn 4. No damage, I think, once again. But if I can find TAS, we should be good to go. I don't think I got sent the link to use TAS, unfortunately. But on the nature of that corner, when you spin, it's quite low speed compared to turn 12. Liam pit and tried to do the overcut on Lawrence. Lawrence got the undercut, but Liam now is on medium tyres, and these are going to be substantially quicker than Lawrence on those hards. We saw Dexter struggle getting them heated up. Yeah, Lawrence is going to get that extra lap in on him already, but it's not going to take as long for Liam to get those mediums up to temperature into attacking form. 1.5 is the gap, and this is now going to set the precedence of what the leaders are going to do and see whether these guys are going to put some quick lap times in. I'm sure hard tyres might not have been the most sensible, because I think mediums would have comfortably gotten to the end unless you were really struggling with tyre wear. But hard tyres, I think, are consistent lap after lap. They don't really wear out, but it just takes an age. And with those, with him being low on fuel, hard tyres could be the best bet. If he'd gone medium, he'd probably want to push a little bit more. But then again, if you are on medium tyres, you wouldn't have to push that extra more, because if you're saving fuel, you can make the tyres last all the way to the end. So Quinn's managed to pull quite a substantial gap to Jacko since he overtook him, and now Quinn will probably stay out that little bit longer, probably go to lap 20. 19:20 would be the perfect, maybe end 20, end of lap 20, as Quinn's catching Giggle again. Or was that Rage Man? No, it's Giggle. I thought Giggle must have got ahead because he is on soft tyres and more fresh. So yeah, what is this going to help Quinn now? I would harvest your EOS. Don't be burning it. Yes, you're gaining ground, but you're gaining ground anyway on everyone else because you're getting the benefit of DRS. No one else is getting that benefit. No one else on the track at the moment is getting that benefit of DRS. So you're playing a really crucial role here in staying within 1 second, getting DRS. Don't think you're going to get slipstream because the car is ghosted. That could be helpful. Harvest your ERS, and you could be able to push at the end. Rageman's in. He's probably going to try and cover off the rest of the field, such as Lawrence and Liam. I'm not sure Lawrence is going to get much of an undercut. But Rageman's going to lose quite a few positions. Is this soft or medium tyres? mediums for Rageman. Lawrence is coming down the pit straight. Where is Rageman as he exits the pits? This might be tight, but I don't think it's going to be tight enough or close enough for Lawrence to get ahead. And this is an opportunity for Rageman to now get the undercut on Gazzaman and stay ahead of him, and maybe try and close the gap down to Aaron if he stays out to try and push for a soft stint. What Liam has to do now is try and push to get in DRS. He's not that quick, is Liam, on these tyres yet. Maybe the wrong call on tyre strategy, but I would personally go for mediums based on the... I know they're quick enough, and surely quicker than fresh hards. They're both fresh, both same age tyres pretty much. So based on that and the tyre difference in time is about half a second a lap. That's what Liam should be catching Lawrence by if they were on equal pace, but it looks like Liam might be struggling. He might have some damage, could have hit a curb, bounced over it and gotten a bit of side pod damage, or grazed the front wing. And we know damage on the front wing is very, very harsh, even at the minute damage like lime green yellow tint of damage causes horrendous amounts of understeer. Gazzaman's in, he's on fresh boots. Where's Rageman in all this? Rageman's going to be ahead. Gazzaman will come out net P3. Or will he? It's going to be side by side with him and Lawrence. Lawrence got the undercut on Gazzaman. So he was closing, was Lawrence, on Rageman. So that gap was actually a lot bigger than we thought. As a yellow flag in sector 2. That's the Haas of Giggle. And he is out. Yeah, Giggle is out of the Grand Prix. Is that a late safety car? Does that bail out the top 3 to pit? Not being very generous to the safety cars. A lot of people complaining that maybe the safety car comes out too regularly. We've had one VSC this Grand Prix. One VSC. And usually that gets promoted to a safety car. But not at the moment. Quinn will probably either pit this lap or next. Aaron is going to stay out for one more. He's definitely going for those softs. I would advise Quinn and Jacko to do the same. Rageman is quite close to these two. That gap is 11 seconds to Quinn. And Rageman is going to start pumping in maybe a quick lap time. Might be his out lap. But he's catching Jacko corner by corner. And he was pushing. It's 28 dead. And that's the kind of lap times I said we were going to get close to. Quinn's in for softs. He's first to jump to softs. No, MCFC was first to jump to softs. He pit at the same time as Gazzaman. He thinks the softs can go to the end, and I'm pretty sure they will. But where is he in contention of jumping Quinn? Quinn's still going to come out behind Liam, Lawrence and Gazzaman. Anozi is behind that. That gap is about 8 seconds, so I'm not sure he would have had any chance to undercut anyway. So Quinn has now got to start pushing, because he now knows that he's on the softer tyres of everyone in the race. Softest tyres of everyone. Because Anozi pitted the lap before, so technically Quinn has the best tyres of everyone. Anozi is going to have them up to temperature, and he's going to be pushing like a madman. He's already 9/10 up on his personal best in the first sector. Let's have a look at these fastest laps then. If he's 9/10 up, that already puts him at a 29.4. And that's only one sector. He's going to have to look for a 28.0. We'll see what he does. Aaron's now into the pits. The gap was 20 seconds to Jacko. Will he come out in front of Jacko, or will Jacko be the pain and the thorn in Aaron's side? This could be close, you know, because it's a long pit lane. Aaron's at the first pit box in Mercedes. Jacko is going to take the lead of the Grand Prix, with him yet to make his final pit stop. But Andy is going to Aaron is going to be just ahead of Rageman. Rageman using that 2-lap undercut to full advantage to close now within DRS of Aaron. Down towards turn 4. Will the Haas driver make for a move into turn 4? He does not. But this is going to be crucial now, because what will Jacko do Will he battle it? Will he fight it? He's got 2 drivers behind him on so much fresher tyres. What Rageman needs to do if he wants to win this race and stay part in winning this race, he needs to stay on DRS, and that is what he's doing at the moment. But what's going to be crucial now for both drivers is getting by Jacko at the same time. Jacko gets a slow exit. That's going to practically gift Aaron back P1, but Jacko might fight it round the outside. Nope, Jacko breaks a little bit earlier, and now it's Rageman's job to get by Jacko. It's not going to hurt Rageman that much because Jacko will probably stay on in DRS. It's quite easy to stay within these 2 DRS zones, but I think Rageman's going to get Jacko before, and this is going to be crucial. Rageman wants DRS. Rageman wants DRS here, and that is what he wanted to do, and decided to stay behind Jacko because that gap to Aaron was too large for him to get DRS if he was ahead. Jacko now pits. He's going to be on soft tyres. Rageman gets DRS, but he's not got any battery, and that gap to Aaron is 2 seconds. Pretty much. It was 2 seconds. It's closed down to about 1.5, but now it's going to be very difficult for Rageman to get anywhere near Aaron now that his boots are warmed up, and he's going to be on a flyer and probably going to go for fastest lap, even though he is also low on ERS. Gazaman has got plenty of ERS. Jacko will come out the pits in very clear air. He could snag himself fastest lap, and will be helping Aston Martin be the only team. No, it won't be the only team. Be almost the only team to get double points. Colin and Aaron are going to get double points for Mercedes. That means Mercedes will definitely be clear at the top. Gazaman will get a nice comfortable P3 unless he can start reeling in the top 2. Rageman's now fallen away. Aaron's got those boots warmed up. We're looking at a flyer and maybe a quali lap from Aaron here. It's 4 tenths up purple middle sector. 4 tenths up would put him at 28.9. That's actually not quick compared to what I thought it was going to be. We're looking at 27.8 for fastest lap set by MCFC. Unless he's 4 tenths quicker than MCFC across the line, it is faster, and he was quicker than MCFC in that middle sector, and that's how fast he was on those fresh tyres. 27.6. He could steal the win and fastest lap, as Gazaman tried to do last week, but he got pole and driver of the day and the win. Aaron's going to go for the win, fastest lap, and maybe driver of the day. We'll soon find out. I have to nominate him first. We're running out of laps, and we've got to see drivers who are going to impress me to try and snag that driver of the day. Quinn got by Liam on those fresh tyres, and Quinn, I would say, is going to start hunting Gazaman down. The gap's 3.6. There is enough time. Gazaman is on mediums, but those soft tyres are going to start to be best off their best. I don't want that because seeing how quick they are on these final few laps isn't going to matter too much, as they're not on fresh tyres pushing for fastest lap. Liam's fallen short of Quinn's DRS now, so that battle is settled. Liam's got a 3-second gap to Lawrence, I believe. Yeah, Liam has 6, Lawrence has 3. We'll double check that now. Yeah, 6 and 3. So Liam has got that gap to Lawrence that comfortably seals him that top 5 finish. But can Quinn steal a podium? That's going to be key here. We're going to have a quick look at his lap times. Have a quick look at his lap times to see how quickly he is catching Gaza on the soft tyres. So there's some consistency right there. First quick lap was a 28.063, and then he does a 28.031. So that's consistency right there. He slows off a little bit with the tyre deck kicking in, 28.2, but that is still pretty quick. Gazaman on those 3 laps has done a 28.7, a 28.8, and a 29.0. So that is 7, 1.5, and another 8 tenths. So that's 2.3 seconds in 3 laps. So those tyres are looking pretty quick for Quinn, and he's looking to catch Gazaman before the end of this race. There are going to be 5 to go as they cross the line. I think that'd be a good result for Quinn after starting on the front row, dropping down a couple of positions. It'll be a nice recovery after not finishing as well last week. If I was Dexter, just so Colin doesn't go for fastest lap and try and snag it, Dexter box end the lap 27, try and snag himself a bonus point for fastest lap, and that could be the difference. That really could be the difference between getting yourself in those prize winning positions in the top 3. Get yourself a nice trophy, and I think it's a PSN voucher as well, all courtesy of One Hub. I was really hoping that the race wouldn't drag out, but when the gaps are so large, it gets interesting. This is the battle we want to see, though. I think Gazzaman's catching Rageman at the same rate. We'll have a quick look at Rageman's lap times in comparison. I'm pretty sure that gap's come down. I pressed the wrong button again, so that's great. This is what you get for using a wheel as a controller when your PS5 controller's port for the headphones is broken. So I can't control the PS5 game without a PS5 controller. Luckily the wheel is compatible. And enough babbling. So Rageman on those last 3 laps was in the 29. So yeah, both Gazzaman and Quinn are catching Rageman quite quickly. But will it be enough? Quinn's now under 2 seconds. He's got to get in that 1 second window. I won't say the end of this lap, it's got to be the end of the next. Let Gazzaman keep pushing to try and get P2, and then use your speed in the slipstream to pull yourself forward. As Lawrence now pits. Could have settled for P6. Maybe didn't like the hard tyres. Gonna go on the softs. And punch for fastest lap. Rageman might be due if they do. Yeah, yeah, he will get there. I'm sure he might get angry if he finds out that there's 2 drivers hunting him down, and that gap between Gazzaman and Rageman is now under 2 seconds himself. I think if Quinn's got to get into that 1 second window before Gazzaman gets in Rageman's, because if Gazzaman gets to that 1 second window first, that DRS is going to help Gazzaman pull away, and Quinn won't be able to catch up. And Gazzaman's got plenty of ARS. Quinn needs to keep saving, keep harvesting. I know you're trying to push as much as you can, but you've got to try and be quicker when it comes to the overtaking, rather than pushing now when you've literally got nothing for the whole lap. So you're not really getting any benefit of EOS, where Gazzaman's getting benefit of EOS for the entirety of the lap, and you're getting very minimal EOS push, which is probably why it's very difficult to catch. We had a crucial beginning, hectic beginning, a lot of spins in the middle, gaps are formed. We're down to 3 laps, we're down to 10 runners, but it's not over for P2 just yet. Gazzaman is probably sniffing at a possibility of second best, but that's going to be good enough to, I think, keep him in the lead of the championship going into round 3. Round 3, which is Hungary, which is pretty notorious for not many overtakes unless you've got that raw speed over another driver. Gazzaman's pushing now. Gazzaman knows, but that EOS is he's managing that EOS superbly, as Gazzaman. He's keeping the gap to Quinn consistently, and he's closing in Rageman. What is Rageman doing on EOS? He's low on fuel. Rageman's losing time because he's got to save fuel. This could be crucial for not only Rageman's chances of P2, but even stepping onto the podium, because he could run out of fuel at the very end. And low fuel mode, if you're not coming down the start-finish straight, can use you a huge amount of time. So if I was in Rageman's shoes now, start lifting and coasting into this corner. It's going to be crucial. You're low on ERS anyway, and Gazaman's in DRS. Now this is the fight for second place. Speed Quinn might be there to pick up the pieces if there would be any contact between the two. Gazaman's going to have DRS. I don't think he's going to be close enough on the run towards turn 4. He's probably going to harvest. He's going to harvest his ERS and save it. But the longer Rageman holds Gazaman, the more Quinn gets back into it, as Lawrence then gets fastest lap. 26.6. Woo, hello. Oh, and Quinn spun. Oh, Quinn has spun on the exit of the hairpin. Be careful where you're reversing, Sunshine, because you've got a couple of cars coming back on safely. I think he might have damage. I saw him hit the wall. Yeah, that's left end plate completely destroyed. And that's all the chances of Quinn's possibility of getting a lot of points out the window. But the battle's not over yet for P3, as Lawrence now retires. What has Lawrence done? He got fastest lap. You were going to get 8th place, fella. And now you are a stricken mess on the exit of turn 7 as we start the final lap. Where's Aaron in all this? Turn 1. He's got a comfortable lead. Gazaman's going to have the inside on Rageman towards turn 1. Rageman tries to duck back into the slipstream. He's going to try and brake late towards turn 1. But it's going to be crucial now. Rageman's going to have DRS. He's got some ERS. Does Gazaman to fight it? I don't think Rageman's going to be close enough. He's crucial on fuel. Gazaman is not crucial on fuel. He is fine. You can see that red flashing of Rageman's fuel, and this could be it for Rageman getting a top 2. I think he should be clear and hold on for a podium now that Quinn has had a mistake. Quinn's in the pits. I'm not too sure whether it was worth it, fella. You probably will still get P6 because of the gap down to P8, but we're going to keep on board with this. Rageman's starting to fall away. Those tyres are not that much older, but maybe Gazaman's been saving them for the end, and it's crucially worked. Rageman now has some ERS to fight back. He doesn't have DRS. I think this is Gazaman's now to lose, but we'll go on board with our race leader as he rounds the final sector. Final couple of corners. Don't start losing your back end just yet. You can start celebrating on the run down towards the start finish straight. Mercedes are going to be waiting for you on that pit wall. Round the final corner comes Aaron. He's going to win here in One Hub Season 19 and takes this race by storm, comfortably ahead of Gazaman, who is going to take back-to-back podiums and will be leading the championship, I'm sure, come the end of the results. Rageman holds on, doesn't run out of fuel, gets P3. Liam will come home in P4. Might not because of penalties. MCFC will probably snag it on the line. It's going to be really tight. This could go to the wire. How close is this going to be? 87 thousandths of a second. MCFC has missed out by getting into the top 4. That is close. Jacko will come across the line in 6th. He got to lead his few laps. Few laps for Jacko that he got to lead before pitting. Quinn is going to be kicking himself there. Possibility for a podium. Top 4 was in the bag. Pushing a little bit too hard at the end of the race. When it comes to it, sometimes the best racers always just settle for what they've got. It might be at grasping distance, but it obviously wasn't worth the risk for Quinn. He comes home in 7th. Colin gets back-to-back finishes and a double points for Mercedes as they will extend their lead at the top of the constructors. Colin in 8th, and Dexter will be our final finisher of the Grand Prix. And 9 out of 15 managed to survive Bahrain. Across the line comes Dexter. I haven't been racing, but I'm sweaty. Jesus Christ. What a race to end. What a final couple of laps. Liam's driver of the day on screen. I need to pick my driver of the day. It might have to be... Ooh. I should pick 2, even though there's no 2. It has to be a 1v1 on Twitter to see who gets more finish than last time. Oh, crikey. Oh, yeah, they did. Only 8 finished because only 8 points. No, 7. Might have been 7. No, it was 9. 9 people finished, I think. Oh, whatever. Mercedes, Red Bull. You normally see them on the top 2 steps, but Haas is a surprise package up there, and I think that I'm going to give Colin one of the driver of the days, because he had to start from the back and he's secured himself into the top 8 and managed to finish pretty decently. And my second driver of the day is going to be Rageman, on the basis that last week he didn't score any points and has now come away with a podium. So those are my 2 driver of the day nominations. Question for Colin is, starting from the back, what was your strategic play for the race? Were you going to push hard or were you going to play it safe? And are you happy with the top 8 finish? And then my question for Rageman is finally securing some points for Haas and a podium as well. Does this podium give you hope for a chance to fight for the drivers, seeing as it's only 2 rounds in on the championship? So they're my 2 questions. Hopefully someone's caught them and ready to ask them for next week, or for the driver of the day poll as well. Next week we are at Hungary. I did mention that before. Be sure to tune in to that race for the points tier. But at the moment, be sure to check out Twitch and YouTube for a few more races that are happening here at Bahrain. Podium tier will be on the way, and lights out should be already green. You'll have Pinnacle, and I need to remember these tier names a lot later on. Pinnacle and Precision, that's the one. Precision is now live on Twitch. You'll have to check it out. Pinnacle will be live at 8:30 on YouTube, and Podium is mid-race, so be sure to catch that as well. Thank you all for watching. Surely I might not be on my own next week, but if we are, hopefully you can stand the sound of my voice and only my voice for the next 7-8 races. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to check out socials in the description as well. See you next week.